Hello, everyone. I'm saying hello again from Voice of Liberta, where we begin the journey to uncover your true calling of your heart. I would like to create the cozy space here for real stories where true connection of hearts happens. In this busy world, I would like to create a cozy, comfortable garden here at Voice of Liberta, where we gently unwrap true life stories, dive into our feelings, and cheer on our amazing strength to find us in just being ourselves. And today I'm inviting you to fly to America, to Washington, and to congratulate here very amazing lady. I could say even the soulmate because she is former teacher as like me. She went through that transformation journey recently. She faced divorce, unfortunately. So we are many touching points similar with Dawn. Yes, have I pronounced correct your name?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. So I'm so happy to have you here, and I would like that you represent yourself, introduce to the listeners what you're doing and who you are.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased, honored, and excited to be on your show across the ocean, across the seas to Europe from Washington, D.C. This is actually not my home. I am visiting my daughter. I live in Ohio, which is another, area of the vast United States of America. So I'm so grateful and thankful for being here. I didn't realize that we have a lot of connections together like this. So this is going to be fun and interesting.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, then we were talking a little bit warm up before our recording, so I just noticed our common things and. Also, we're talking a little bit before about our transformation journey. That's why it's the goal of Liberta just to tell other people true stories, what we faced, and how our transformation journey started. And I heard from you very nice words, which expression just stick in my head, like during transformation, we like a seed which is planted into the soil and is dark and is sometimes even cold here, but this is the beginning. That's how seed started growing into a beautiful plant. So please don't share your story as much as you can. What happened, how you discovered your true calling of your heart, or just just please
Yes,
share with us.
absolutely. So that analogy of the seed being planted is not my own. I'm sure other people have said it. And last year around this time, I was at a wonderful conference, and one of the speakers talked about that. You have to go down before you can come up. And I said to myself, not again. Do I need to go down again? So in about, I think it was 2012, I was going through a divorce and I decided to become a yoga teacher. I had been practicing yoga since 1999, and I was in this program, and I was very excited to start something new. I was like, this is going to be a fresh start for me. I had been going through the divorce process of healing and separating and starting over. So I read hundreds of books about um, affirmations because I'd never heard that really before, about loving yourself, about relationships, about abuse, about resiliency. I read religious books and self help books. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of books because my former occupation, I was a school librarian, and libraries changed my life. They helped me heal, and I continue to read. So as I was reading, I came across a book that talked about the power of the mind. It's called Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. And she's a Christian kind of like television preacher. And she talked about you believe what you say more than anybody else. So if somebody says, oh, that's such a beautiful hairstyle, or I love the color of your hair, and you're saying, oh my goodness, it's dirty today, because that's what you believe. You don't necessarily hear the words of the compliment. And she said, accept the compliment, start to learn to hear the good words, and then speak those words out of your mouth. And at the time, the words that I said on repeat were, I hate my life. I hate my life. And I was like, oh, I hate my life. And I said, okay, if she's saying that if I speak out words and I hear those words, then I can make some change in my own life. So I said, let me just put it to the test. I spoke instead, I love my life. I wrote down the words, I love my life. It took 1 year before I said, oh my goodness, I love my life. But it just wasn't words. I started to put other things in action. So at the time, I was 42 years old. I did 42 things for my 42nd birthday. I flew a plane. I jumped out of a plane. I went to dinner by myself. I did whitewater rafting. I did a high ropes course. I did flying trapeze lessons. I went to concerts. I read books. I did tons of stuff. So I started to learn that I liked me. I liked the company of Dawn. I didn't mind being single. It was okay. And as I started to do these things, I shared them on Facebook because at the time Facebook was friendly to everybody. And folks were like, Dawn, is this a like a bucket list? And I said, no. I just want to learn, like, who am I and what do I love? And as I was checking the things off, it's funny, I didn't do all 42 things, but I started to love my life because I took action. And during the same time, I decided to move from a middle school librarianship, I'm not sure what the equivalence is in Europe, but down to like primary school. And I loved working with little kids again. At the time, I had a part-time job and I was working at the yoga studio where I was becoming a yoga teacher in addition to my full-time job. And one of my former colleagues was the principal or like headmaster. And I said to her, if anybody is changing or leaving and there's a job opening as your librarian, let me know. And she said, shh, don't tell anybody. But the lady who's a librarian is about to get fired. And she was like, I would love to have you because we worked together in prior years. So I spoke out to myself, like, I want to work in a different situation. I want to live in a I started to speak these things out, right? And they started to happen. So that next year, this was in April, by the next school year, I had a new job. I moved to a new house and I was divorced. So all the things that I started to think about, I started to speak it out and my life started to change. So I would say about a year and a half ago, I was working on a framework. I learned how to create a framework during a business coaching program. And one of my really good friends and I were working on our frameworks. And I was like, yeah, I'd like to call it this awakening that I went through. And she said, maybe it's a path. Your framework is a path because there are 3 things that I learned that I did that I teach other people. First, I changed my thoughts because whatever's in your head is going to come out in your life. The second is I changed my words. So remember, I was speaking these words out. And then the third thing, I changed my mind, which was like making different life choices out loud. And once you do those 3 changes, your life transforms. And I call that the path to the awakened woman. So as you go down this path, you find happiness, wholeness, and freedom. And that's what I found. I became happy again because remember, I hated my life. I started to do things that were contrary to other people, and I was happy. I found wholeness. So all the little disparate pieces of myself who I didn't think I should embrace or love or even knew about, those parts of myself came back together. So I felt whole. And then free. I was free to do what I want, when I wanted, how I wanted, who I wanted to do it with. I was free to make the choices. So when you know who you are by changing your thoughts, changing your words, changing your mind, you become happy, whole, and free. And to me, that is an awakened woman.
It sounds amazing. I was listening you and then you repeated, I love my life. I just automatically in my head was just Robbie Williams song, I love my life. you know, so that was like boosting song for me as well, a while ago. So
So that's true, though. That's a part of it too. I made a playlist in 2012 called Freedom. So I would listen to songs that made me feel happy or made me feel free. Because, when you have a favorite song, you play it, your energy changes, right? So you were already dancing as you were singing that song. It's there's power in music, there's power in movement, there's power in how we word the things that we want in our life. There's power there.
true. It's very true. And another thing, what is in common, just slightly different, like you tell nicely, like you changing your thoughts, words, and your minds. So the same, like in my discovery, my path or pattern of program of coaching is like I'm seeking to connect minds, heart, and money as being
Mm.
a growth and finance coach. And this again, what does it mean to be in wool, like an abundance? So this is like myself, I always drawing woman as a or man as a flower because we every petal of the flower it's important and is like completed us. So and this discovery and association, like our finances, our life, our minds is like a garden or tree. So because I'm passionate about the flowers, they always around me. So and this connection is very important. You need to change your minds because it's like your root, which feeding, the tree and is pulsing this blood or stream to refresh your minds, to clean, then to find the happiness in your heart, which start, to feel love in your life, like pulsing and then everything is connected in your minds and the heart is pulsing, then abundance and money is attracting like honey attracting bees. So this is very important in our life, first of all, to change your minds, because I believe according famous scientists that everything is now energy. Yes, so then if we're starting vibrating in positive uh, energy, we're attracting positive things. Like even I think today I was reading one book and it said if you sharing love, you getting love. If you sharing hate, you getting what? So that's what it's nice again how our goal is the same. We want to make women abundant, feel the wool, and that we just can bloom as the flowers. So I would
Yes, I love that.
well. So
So, but also in blooming like a flower, or also in any kind of transformation that we go through, there's a period of loss. And last year, for about a good 3, almost 4 months, I was sad. It was very, very sad, and it was heavy. And some people said to me, "Well, Dawn, haven't you felt sad before?" And I said, "I not like this." It
mm,
was physical, it was energetic, it was intellectually, it was emotionally different. All of these aspects of this sadness period that I went through was different. And I used tools of mindfulness that I have used over the last 10 years plus as a yoga teacher. So the first thing that I did was a gratitude journey. And I've done this before, but I wanted to go back to it. I
mm,
had a new accountability partner. She and I just met through like a situation. I'll just say that. And
mhm.
I was talking about like, I really want a new gratitude partner. She said, "Oh, I'll do it with you." And I said, "Okay, well, this is how I set it up. I usually will text the person first thing in the morning, 3 things that I'm grateful for." And she said, "Okay, I'll do that." And I said, "Well, let's do it until the end of the year. Like the first day of 2024 will be our last day." So for 50 days, we text one another every morning. Well, I would text every morning because I'm better in the morning. Um, I would say these are the three things I'm grateful for. So when you're sad, it can be a challenge to figure out what can you be grateful for. And this helped me get past the sadness. I mean, I was crying. I would lie in the bed. I would um, go back to the point where this thing that I hoped would happen that didn't happen, and learn to find small pieces of happiness to put the petals together back to make the flower of my life because they had kind of like spread away. So that was one thing that I did. Also, in this period of sadness, that was helpful for me was to reframe. So I had this challenge in my Facebook group. I called it reframing complaining. It's very easy to complain when you're unhappy, when you're sad, when you're going through grief or any challenge. So whenever I lead a challenge, it's because I need it. And I figure if I need it, somebody else does too. So I learned how to reframe my words because words have power. They become things. Remember, you have to change your words that come out of your mouth. Just like you were saying, the book that you read, this idea of the law of attraction, it's a part of the words too. So I had to really work hard to reframe what I said to positive present tense words. And then the last thing that I did, so I was grateful. I stopped complaining. I put into action mindfulness again. So sitting down into a meditation practice with no computers talking to me, no music playing, nothing, just me with me, sitting in silence. So I could hear God. So I could hear the things my ancestors talking to me. So I can remember the bright parts of life. Because when you have a lot of distractions, they distract you. So those were the three things that I did, and it helped me push out of sadness back to, I always say, the petal pieces coming together or the seed pushing out of the dirt again. And I share that because a lot of people go through different things and they don't know how to get out. And those were the ways that I got out.
Yes, it's really appreciate that you're sharing, and I believe that many people would like to hear that what we did, how we overcome these obstacles. Because now, then we're talking, smiling, we happy, they can think, oh my God, I know another happy couple, just talking, that they. But to be honest, we know how it can be painful because it's the same, and nearly all the things what you said you done, I did myself as well. Gratitude, meditation, being in nature, walking a lot. And of course it was that days that I don't want to get up from bed and just cry into my pillow and don't want to communicate with no one. So it's just we went through all these phases because transformation is just, first of all, realizing that you need to leave that comfort zone. You need to admit yourself that you're in trouble innerly, mentally, that you need to learn how to love yourself. And as you mentioned before, you didn't know who you are. So, and you needed to discover, you needed to write down the list. The same happened with me. Then my three children left home. I just was sitting and staring, okay, who is Vaida? What she likes to do now? What is my hobby? And okay, so to be honest, what truly I want to do? Do I really like that or that? So I would like to go on my own or just, I felt completely lost. And it's called like emptiness syndrome as well. So I needed to overcome that. So it's a very long journey. And of course, we need to be very patient with ourselves, first of all, and send that love to ourselves innerly. It's easier to say than done because I remember the moment, that I was asking, okay, what does it mean to self-love? Because all life I was devoted to my husband, to my children, to other people, to friends, where I am. So, and then this is path, then you need to come back and look at yourself. deeply, honestly. It's not pleasant sometimes because we're finding so many fear, we are unconfident, we're doubting, and basically lost like a puzzle, and we needed to put ourselves back. And really, it is very good advice what you shared and implemented. And from my point, I would like to add one. What helps me, it is like being in nature, going simply just for walk if you don't want to do sport, because I'm a bit lazy. So I doing a lot of walking, and I'm calling my friends calling me like a tree hugger, like living in the trees, and as well love flowers. And I started studying flowers therapy, which helps me to see myself, to relax and recover as well from my illnesses. So it's a magical thing. Probably you will agree with another thing what I'm trying to say, that one moment what we need to learn, be in a present with yourself. As you said, with your thoughts, yes, like meditate, that you can hear your heartbeat. And unfortunately, time is running so quickly. And before we wrap up, you already gave many advice for our listeners. Can you just give maybe one golden tip from where to start, or few piece of advice, how to hear your heart calling better, how you can do that?
Slow down. Slow down. I think because the way the world has evolved in these last handful of years, especially because of the pandemic, we're always in a rush. We need to slow down. And that might mean take a nap. It might mean turn off the computer. It might mean sit by the lake. It might mean chew your food, right? Savor the taste of your food. Slowing down will help you connect back to your heart space, to your heartbeat, to your inner knowing, to the love that you have for yourself, to the calling that you have forgotten about or put to the side or buried. If you slow down, you become present. And when you're present, that's where everything is. That's where gratitude is. That's where your dream is. That's where the love is. That's where the abundance is. That's where freedom is. So slow down and be present. That would be my golden.
It's amazing. It is really valuable advice, really golden one. Because then we're slowing down, we can hear our heart beating better or louder. And if we're asking the way, we always find it. And my sincere wish will be everyone truly liberate your inner voice and find your true happiness. And every day try connect your minds, heart, and material stuff, money. Because without this connection, we cannot feel wholeness and abundance. And I hope that every person can find that peace, inner peace, first of all. Don't argue with yourself, don't argue with your heart. And one simple tip, what I would like to give, like how to stay in the present moment. Just try to sit, whatever you are, in office or at home, in front of your favorite flower, and just take 5 minutes if you can, and just look with clearing all the minds out from your head. Just look at your flower from the bottom to the top, to each petal, and try to notice every line, every curve. If the flower damaged or it's healthy, just try to create the story. What happened from where that flower come? Notice the shades of colors, and just sincerely be in that moment with your favorite flower. It's really therapeutic, it's healing, and most importantly, It's helping to be here and now. It's mean slowing down. And if you don't like flowers, if you, as a man listening, you can use, for example, flame of a candle, or just look at your fireplace and do the same. Again, just clear your minds and go into the magic of sparkling fire, listening the sounds, nothing else around. Phone switch off, and just you and fire or flower. So sincerely wish everyone to hear the heart better, and appreciate and feel a lot of gratitude for you, Dawn. You're doing amazing stuff, and I'm so happy that you found yourself, that you hear your heart, and now you helping other women to make a mission possible. And who would like to know more about Mission Possible, they can go to Dawn website and read about that. As well, about my special program, Always Enough, you can visit my website and see how we can connect our hearts, minds, and money. Thank you very much. See you.
Thank you.